Good morning and welcome back to When Pigs Fly. I'm Patty and I am joined by Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning.
All right. So, first of all, we want to welcome all of our new subscribers. We see you, we hear you. We love our loyal fans too. And we are really loving the comments and the feedback you're giving because we're able to give you more of the information that seems to be helping you. We want you to keep something in mind. There is no judgment here whatsoever on our behalf. And your spiritual journey is not a competition and it's not a comparison. You can't get it wrong. You're not late to the party. You will awaken at a time that is appropriate for you, and you are continuing to. We're all a work in progress too. So be compassionate with your own progress and don't compare yourselves to what we're doing. We're sharing our journeys with you so that something might go, "Ooh, that sounds like me." And then have that create a personal awareness so you can say, this is all about getting to know the truth of who you are, and you're unique. So your journey may have a little of Tracy's, a little of mine, a little of Renee's, or it may have none of it. But one of our stories may just hit a button in you that goes, "Oh, that kind of reminds me of something else." And keep in mind, these are energetic episodes. We are transmitting all of these with absolute love and with the intention of helping to guide all of us to a higher level of consciousness with grace and ease. That's our intention always. And so we wanted to just bring that point and share that with you again so that you are a conscious listener and we have hold the best and highest of intentions for all of you as your guides do as well. So today we have a really important topic because it affects so many of us. And this is, how do I bring my spirituality to work? And I know that in my coaching business and Renee, we hear this a lot. Hey, I'm great at home, and then I have to go to work, and I feel like the wheels come off. And Tracy's got her own perspective because she's running a business where she's dealing with. She's on the other side of this, dealing with different personalities that are in different levels of consciousness. And so we're going to hear from her about that. And it's a really important perspective for you to listen to when you have a leader who's awake and you can then discern the difference between that. And then how do you show up if your leader may not be awake? We're going to get all this today. So we've got a lot to say today. Renee, would you like to kick this one off?
Sure. Because it seems like this last week, I've had a lot of clients that are, oh my God, when I go to work, it's so crazy and so is doing this and so, like all of that stuff. And what I've realized and given them tips and they've gotten back and said, oh my God, this works amazing, is when you're on this path, first of all, things are going to be very aware to you a lot of times of what's actually falling apart. And Tracy will talk to that. And that whole part of you're going to be recognizing things really aren't working or whatever. But what I want you to be aware of is you're not using what we refer to as the spirituality. You're not taking into effect into work that, wait a minute, I'm going to go into work with this beautiful energy of I'm expecting everything to work out, or I'm just going to start spreading love. I'm just going to hold my space of this piece of the calm or whatever it is you want to be. A lot of people are going into work with this thing of, oh my God, yesterday was a shit show and this is what's happening. Or I know some people that, work in the government and different stuff, and we all know what's going on, there. So the expectation is there and a lot of fear is coming in, whether it's the fear of you going to work and, oh my God, maybe I don't know if I'm going to be fired. I'm going to all these things. I'm not saying that that's not a reality, but I'm saying you need to show up in a whole nother way. You need to come into this thing and not leave your spiritual body home, not leave the spiritual body in the car, as Patty wonderfully said, bring it into work. How am I going to come in and spread this energy? What energy am I putting into here? Now, what's really interesting is what you have to remember is you've been there for a long time, or even if you've just only been there for a day or so, your old energy is still there. So what I usually tell people is have your whole thought be your home, your wherever, that you are energetically standing in front of the building or wherever. And you're saying, I am now going to cleanse and purify all of the old energies. And now what I love about that is you're not just being very specific for you. When you're saying I'm cleansing, clearing all the old energies, if it's in somebody else's highest and best good, their higher self jumps on board. Because remember, we're all energy, we're all one energy field. Okay, so what it will do is it will start to go through, and you're just gonna like picture yourself like, standing in front of the building. I'm gonna cleanse and purify all energies. And you just have your thought be, my energy is always going right through the building, right through. It's not stopping anywhere. It's just like as a whole, because it's got to cleanse and clear the energy above and below. Okay, so then it just starts to go through. And now I'm just going to put whatever energy you want in there. I'm just going to pour love and happiness or joy or communication, whatever it is you want. That energy starts to go in. So now what you've done, you've cleansed your own energetic field. So you're not walking in and have an energetic battle, because yesterday you didn't bring your spiritual self in, and now today I'm bringing it in. And what I would see is an energetic battle. The old way of being at work is going to be there, and it's going to fight you. It's going to fight this new peaceful energy. Like, nope, that's not how we show up. What are you doing? And you'll feel that like things just be falling apart for yourself. Like, oh, I thought I came in here with this, love, and how come this isn't working? What you just did was you bought into the old energy, because the old energy won. It, overrode that, because that's more comfortable to be that. So show up in this whole energetic field of how do I want to be, and things are imploding around you. Hold your space. Like I can see what's happening, because that's the energy of the world right now. And I am just going to hold this space and just pour whatever it is into this whole field that you want. And Tracy, I feel like you are perfect for that, because you have your business, and I'm sure things are imploding around you. And how are you handling that whole aspect?
Yes, thank you. So, Renee, you pointed out so many great things that I know this very well, and I have to remind myself multiple times a day the how important it is to cleanse and purify. And I'm actively doing it morning, night, and all in between. But I truly believe that globally, we are all getting cleansed, whether we put our attention toward that or not. We're in a purging and in a cleansing phase, or an energy right now. So it's happening at a variety of different levels. And to be mindful, I love you hit so many good points about the battle, not only with us, because we are showing up different. Those of us that are aware, if you're listening, you're mindful of it, you are kind of in the awareness of this. But again, this is happening to everyone else unbeknownst to them. So I have restaurants, a number of employees, and I'm literally watching them in their own spiral every day of trying to manage energies that they're completely unaware of they're even occurring, and that they're attempting to manage them. And in the whole, I like to say we're in a phase of truths being revealed. So all the little hidden secrets we have, or all the little little white lies that we're telling ourselves and others, they're not supported anymore. So they are being uncovered, untruthed. And then every single person, and I don't think any of us are excluded from this, are having to manage through the truths being revealed, the new energies being integrated and incorporated. So it's a lot going on. And I think, honestly, for me, just to know and be mindful gives me so much peace of mind, because in the restaurant, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, restaurants are usually shit shows on the best day of the week. There's a lot of dynamics at play. I always joke, you have to have a very distinct personality to be even work in the restaurant industry. And I've been in it, so I claim it, but so there's a lot at play right now. And I think another big component is, if everyone can take personal responsibility for their own energy and their own actions, and to not try and let someone else project on you who's not taking personal responsibility. Yeah. I think that's a big one that needs to be made aware of. I know for me, I'm the boss, I'm the owner. So what I notice is everyone, as soon as I walk on the door, they want to project either their woes, they want their ego stroke, they want it to be my fault, you know, and I really, you know, second by second have to stop, take a step back. Okay, now I need to evaluate it and react from here, not here. And it can be challenging. I'm not going to lie. So that's the Cliff Notes is be compassionate on yourself. We're all in this, every single one of us. And it's super exciting times. We want this. It might be challenging and frustrating to navigate through, but it needs to be dismantled so we can let in fully the new energy, the new, so I love a couple of things you said there, Renee, you know, the battle, the cleansing. And then for me, the personal responsibility component, if you're at a workplace with a lot of dynamics and a lot of people, you just be responsible for yourself and notice the boundaries. Don't let anyone project their not taking their own personal responsibility on you, which I think is rampant right now.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's trying to defer their responsibility or their choice and just don't let them. And I tell you, that's a game changer in the day.
Yeah, hold on to your power. And I want to double down on something Renee said about the energy too, is when you make that shift and say, no, I'm going to show up. And if you don't, like, if you, it's a big shit show, then pick something easy. Like, I just want peace today. I just want peace today. Anybody can get themselves into a state of peace before you go and just say, I want to spread peace no matter what. And that's the space you hold. Here's what happens. The old thought system, the fight or flight, doesn't want to be in the unemployment line. It's like, oh no, we used to keeping her scared at work. So let's scare the shit out of her. She's going to come in and try and hold peace. Let's throw some more shit at her. And that's your key to stand in your moment and saying, what do I want to create in this moment? The bigger the shit is, go, wait, but you got to slow down to see it though. Slow yourself down. Don't get into the old reaction and then just say, what do I want to create in this moment? You know what? I just want peace today. And hold that and you can play with it. And I think that you will find that you have the power to bring peace into that situation. And no matter what the shit show is, because like Tracy was just saying, the energy is there now to support it. It actually is an exciting time. But anything that was fear-based is being dismantled. There's no energy, there's no formation or grid to support it anymore. And so it's bubbling up. It's bubbling up to be dealt with and let go of. But as awful as that can feel in the moment, and we've all been through, we've all had to clear things as awful as that can feel in the moment, switch it to, oh my gosh, this is creating the possibility that I can create exactly the way I want it to be. And you have to choose that now. Choose it now and literally don't believe what your eyes are seeing and then decide what you want to create going forward. And and Renee, I think we can each like you want to give an example like of somebody's work situation and how we would advise them to show up in a state of peace or joy or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I also want to sort of, say we're talking this about work, but this goes with relationships. This goes with everything in your life. Anything where you're feeling that, resistance, that whatever, that fear energy, that something's just not working out, or, my husband is always, my boyfriend is always, my girlfriend is always like, remember, you're creating a piece of that as well. You show up a little differently. And Patty, you've talked about this before, where go back to the time of remembrance of why you fell in love with them, or, why you're dating them, or, whatever it is. And, hopefully you reclaim that aspect back, but also look at your own stuff and say, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to take responsibility here for my piece, because it's not just, an argument isn't just one-sided. Okay. But, just like sort of like bring that in, all the way around. And if you're, at work or, even a relationship and things just, aren't working, and, perfect example is a boss and, coming at you saying, okay, look, this has to be done today. And you're like, well, this isn't my job. This isn't what I normally do. Why is it always being dumped on me? Number one, sort of look at that for like reframe that a little and be like, wow, like they know I can get this done. So they're coming to me for this. Like, how awesome is that? And don't go into, oh yeah, but I'm overwhelmed. We can come up with a lot of different examples, a lot of different things of, oh my God, this is why this is bad for me. Start to reframe that. But also then just have your whole thought be like, take that breath in because you're in fight or flight. Okay, so take a couple of those fight or flight breaths where you're breathing in, you're exhaling out longer, and start to just, okay, you know what, I'm going to show up differently. I'm just going to pour the ability, the energy, or I'm just going to hold this energy, however you want to say, there's no right words, no wrong words. I'm going to hold the energy of love, of peace, of communication, of this gets done easily and effortlessly. Because if you're coming at that job with something that is, oh my God, it's not my job, I shouldn't be doing this, whatever. First of all, you're creating that person coming to you, believe it or not. Okay, so clearly your soul is calling to you to say, hey, maybe we're supposed to learn this other little whatever that you don't know, because down the road in the big picture, this is really going to play out big. But because you're fighting it, now this is not going to, it's going to be a real pain in the ass. All sorts of things are going to go wrong because that's the energy you're coming at it with. So just breathe and like look at it from this energy point of, no, this gets done easily. I can do this. I can do this. And I can still get all my other work done because I'm the hero. Because good for me, look how great I am. Like that whole aspect. And, it's easier said than done. Sir, or what, I like the way that Tracy says it better. It's easier said than practiced, but allow yourself to get that thing. And I'm going to say to Tracy, I'm going to throw it to you because you are literally in that field all day long. And how do you, if they're open to it, how do you sort of reframe them and get them to see things a little differently?
So first I want to tell, because I just said this yesterday, and I think I've said this to you, I don't know, on air or off air, but I was talking to actually my friend who was fixing our air conditioner at our house. And we were talking about, he owns his own business, trying to get employees and exactly what we're talking about. And I say, I think my new motto is going to be like, how did you become so successful? And my answer is going to be, because I was always willing to scrub the toilet. And even when I had jobs, like I think I just growing up, whatever I was tasked to do, I wanted it to do well for me, right? Well, if I'm going to do it, okay, and I'm going to do it well. And I was saying to him how I think we've lost that somewhere along the line, because one of the biggest responses we get in the restaurant is, that's not my job. And then it's like, well, we always use the analogy of a baseball team, well, or any sports team. Like really, we all want to synergistically work together. So we can, should be no job that is 100% exclusive to anyone. So to shift the mindset, so funny you bring this up, because I've been down in one of my restaurants with my energy, like just showing up, trying to reset the whole metrics of how we do business. And I realized how confusing it is for everyone, because you never know. I'm going to either be with the dishwasher and see his point of view, right? And then I'll work with the server for a little bit and see their point of view. And I think it's really confusing everybody. Like, what is she doing? Why is she? That's not how we do it. That's not the system. To try and get them in the mindset of everything's changing and we all should be interchanging who we are and how we do it. And again, I know that's a big conversation, but I believe that energies are shifting and changing, and the world is, oh, by the way, everything's changing. The way we use money, the way, if you've been to restaurants, there's a lot more iPads instead of servers. And there's a lot of reasons of why that's happening. It's a big shift to technology. So I think if everyone embraced that everything is changing, so the more expansive we could be, which kind of is answering your question, Renee, is I am having the conversations in my restaurants of, well, the way the world works and the way we're going to do business is going to changing. So let's start, I'm showing the hostess how to wait tables. I'm showing the dishwasher, like really trying to blend the dynamics and let everyone see other people's perspective. Now it's easy for me because I'm the owner and the boss, right? But I do think it's going to be highly beneficial for their mindset, because we've kind of really gone into that society of, that's not my job. I hear it all the time. Or they only see it from their perspective.
Yeah.
But you're so much of a more expanded person and soul to see all the perspectives.
Yeah.
So I think to answer, if you are going into work, come at it from that expanded perspective, expanded soul, whether or not, I like restaurant, you're the dishwasher or you're the director of operations. Like I got to tell you, because it's so prevalent in my life, I was shocked just spending consecutive days. Maybe I'm a magnet. I feel like everyone comes to me and I'm like, well, did you know this? And, I'm like, how did you not ask those questions? Like you couldn't see she was having a hard day. And that, and then I have to be like, oh yeah. They can't see what I see. They can't feel what I feel. But how great would it be if we could all move in that direction and start that day with that mindset? I'm going to try and see and view it more expanded, right? I'm just reiterating everything you said, Renee. Cleanse your energy, step into the new, just saying it, same exact thing, a different way. And we can do it from whatever position or perspective we're at. And for anyone out there that has a government job, I'm going to say it again. The restaurants are shit shows. So if you can be in any dynamic and bring this energy forth. And I would attest, if you are playing an amazing role in helping to change the fabric of society more exponentially. So thank you.
Yeah. Assert your power there in a good way, right? Yeah. What you're talking about, Tracy, though, is being present, being present and aware. And instead of just going in and saying, how is everything just affecting me? Be present and aware and go, okay, wait, how is this from the boss's perspective? How is this from this one's perspective? And getting out of these rules that serve no one. There's so many like old rules that have no foundation anymore. And you can start to contribute in a good way by just being willing and open to just be curious about, okay, why is the person that's not contributing on my team acting that way? Is something going on with them? Are they here because they hate it and they just need the check? Like all of these things. And, if you are in a situation where you don't like your job, or or you may even be job hunting and is you can get into the energy now of how you want to show up, because you want to create. Remember, we create our energy. So how would you show up at the new job, at the new place you want? Are you going to go, Monday suck, I hate my boss, that one's lazy, I did more? You have to get out of comparison to other people. And even if that means you are doing more, then you say, you know what, wow, I was asked to do more because they knew I was capable. You've got to see the glasses full side of it, and not, and and be careful of the street talk. There's layoffs, there's layoffs, there's layoffs. Remember, we're creative. Do you want to create more layoffs? Or do you also want to say that means there's a lot of opportunities too? There are opportunities. When things fall apart, there's also growth opportunities. And this has been proven time and time again. There are people who innovate when things are falling apart. And here's our chance to be innovative and be creative and step into the power. And it takes practice, because you have to stop looking stop looking at all the stuff you see that's going wrong, and then say, okay, today, what am I going to create? And it's like a muscle. You can build that muscle and then just go in and say, no matter what is going on, I'm going to hold my peace today, and give yourself that break, and notice the wins too. Notice, like, if somebody steps up, and you'll start to see a change, and you will. It's impossible for it to not have an impact in this energy field, right?
Let me add on one more thing, because I'm really thinking of the people like in the workplace that are working with lots of employees, lots of dynamics. And I know there's a lot of power structures in play. So if you're being not treated fairly, or you're being squeezed by a power dynamic, I appreciate that there's a lot of situations that you cannot stand up for yourself and say, that is wrong, I'm not doing, and you're really in your right place of, I'm being mistreated. I hesitate to say that because that has been also so overused. Please don't go down, well, do whatever you want, but I'm just saying there's a there's a boundary there too, because there's a lot of victimization out there. I'm not speaking to that, but to do what you need to do and handle yourself responsibly and professionally, but you can speak energetically in your head. I'm standing in my power. I know that this is not in alignment with what's best for everyone. This is not a moment of integrity that I'm in the middle of, but I'm going to stand in integrity in myself in this moment, even if I don't feel comfortable to, tell my boss to,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and it works. I've been
It
practicing.
does.
I just had a manager say, basically, and I didn't say it at all. And I'm like, damn, he got my energetic message very clearly, because my words were very kind and very soft and professional, but in my head, they were not. And that's funny that that's how he received the message, right?
Yeah,
But if you had me on tape, you would have seen me going, okay, well, let's look at this in my head. I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? But I did not say that, right? So I'm here to tell you it works. So stand in your integrity.
absolutely. And this is what we were saying, the title of this episode, right? Bring your spirituality to work with you. And remember that it's your energy and the thought and the emotion that's tied to it. And you can just say, okay, I'm following through with this action, even though me and my soul know this isn't in alignment with what I want to create. You're still, the creation comes from your energy, not the circumstances that have already manifested around you. And that's like a really key designation. And when you know that, that can help, hopefully that'll help give you some power and go, oh, wow, all I need to do is say, okay, I know I'm not in alignment with what my superior is telling me, right? Or, and by the way, because energetically, there is no hierarchy. Very important to know. There is no hierarchy in energy. No one's above or below anybody ever. So you can stand in your power and say, okay, my soul and I know what we want and what we want to create, even though I have to carry out this that is not in alignment with what I'm choosing to create, and play with that. And you'll find that you get your sovereignty that way too. And you can, and say, if you know it's temporary, you can also give yourself that and say, this is only temporary right now. I just need to get through this right now. And, give your brain that relief instead of projecting forward, just staying in the now and staying present. So,
And
Renee, you got,
watch your expectations, because
yeah,
if you're showing up at work, you're like, you know what, they never, give me the accolades or whatever. Like, do you need accolades? Aren't you doing it because this is something you love? And if you're not, you should really check in with yourself, because, and I know a ton of people say, oh no, I can't do something I love. There's no money in that. Well, okay, then that's your creation. But really look and see, what is it I want to be doing? Because when you're doing that, it doesn't feel like work. And it
yeah,
just is. There's all the other stuff. But if you're thinking, oh my God, this company doesn't have communication, doesn't have this, well, you be the change. You show up in a manner and expect change. Your energy is going to, and Tracy just, talked to that your energy is going to help make that shift and change. It's going to help others wake up. You hold that space, and you are saying, okay, I'm coming into work, and oh my God, now they hear, or all of a sudden all these old ways of doing things are breaking down and the new ways are coming through. That's what really starts to happen. And if it doesn't, all of a sudden what happens is you find a new job that does. And it goes to what Patty was speaking to. Put yourself in that field. This is how I would show up in a position that I want to be in. This is how I show up. And you start to carry that energy to you, things just open up. It is really amazing what starts to happen.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that was a quick 30, and we hope that you got something out. If you didn't, come back and listen to this one again. Again, we have compassion and understanding for where you're at. And just know that, hold the space of just say, what do I want to create in this moment? And if you can do that when the biggest of the shit feels like it's hitting the fan, you're really stepping into your power then. And you will. And like Tracy just gave an example, she saw it immediately. And you really can. That is the power of that. When you're in this higher energy, these higher levels of consciousness, it is fast. It is fast. And we know we're all impatient these days. So we love it when good stuff comes around quickly. And you do have the ability. So we want to invite all of you to play with this. And ladies, thank you. What gosh, I know that we could keep going on this one. And we'll wait to hear from our listeners in the comments and let us know if we can go a little deeper on this subject. We're happy to do so. And hit that like and subscribe button. And ladies,